This is about the Smithsonian Museum because it's too woke. Here's Lindsay Halligan, special assistant to the president, on Fox News, talking about the Smithsonian Museum being too woke.
So, like just about every other country in the world, the United States has got a checkered past. I mean, what should we do in terms of our museum? Should we ignore that? Should that be massaged in a certain way to make it less significant? I mean, some of the worst episodes in our history were formative experiences that led us to where we are today, and those typically are reflected in museums.
Yep, I think the fact that we had our country was involved in slavery is
slavery, I don't know. I'm just here to collect a paycheck. Like, look.
Yep, I think the fact that we had our country was involved in slavery is awful. No one thinks otherwise. But what I saw when I was going through the museums personally was an overemphasis on slavery, and I think there should be more of an overemphasis.
We're so cooked.
Emphasis on how far.
Like, this person is making decisions. She can't even put her fucking clothes on in the morning without supervision. And you're over here talking about how, like, we need to change the way that we educate people. There's too much focus on slavery.
Far we've come since slavery. Our country is a country of progress, and it's the greatest country in the world. And we should be able to take our kids, our students through the Smithsonian and feel proud when we leave. There's a lot of history to our country, both positive and negative, but we need to keep moving forward. We can't just keep focusing on the negative. All it does is divide us, and we really need to unite the country and focus on all the positive as we approach America's 250th birthday.
All right. Well,
it's so bad, bro. Here's more. Here's more.
So what specifically, Lindsay, is going on at the Smithsonian that's got the president's back up here?
Well, I think it's common knowledge that our education system in general has been just indoctrinated.
Dude, I cannot believe that shit that initially started off as like right-wing gripes. Oh man, things that like Christopher Rufo was trying to argue about in the Manhattan Institute, which is a right-wing think tank, are now official government policy. Oh, America's history hurts my white feelings, so we should change it. Everything here is so ridiculous. Like, every aspect of this conversation is insane, dude. It's just a part of American history. What do you mean? The way that we are presenting it is already fairly whitewashed, okay? These institutions already have like a shield to preserve white people's feelings around these kinds of issues anyway. She literally said there's an overemphasis of slavery at the National Museum of African American History. Like, what the fuck? How did they get here, man? What do you mean? Like, that's profoundly important. That's it.
With political ideology and various ideological narratives. And the Smithsonian is really a version of education. It could be the foundation of our American education. And so I don't know if when you were young, you went to the Smithsonian museums as a kid on a class trip, but I did. And the Smithsonian is really supposed to be a trust instrument. And what's happened is it's become more of a platform upon which the curators and leadership at the Smithsonian can push ideological narratives. And we really want to help the Smithsonian be the gem, as you described that it is, and represent our nation properly and truthfully.
Here's Michael's. This was like unimaginably racist a couple days ago. I didn't even cover it. People who speak like this should not be getting platformed on fucking CNN, man. What the hell? Like, this is not spirited discourse at this point. Abby Phillips is black. She's the host of the show. This conversation was so insane, dude.
Have you looked at some of the things that are being reviewed?
Yeah, slavery was a bad thing that was to talk about.
Okay.
Like, he forgave
He's
me for
not
saying
whitewashing slavery. So
he's not?
He's not. No,
Okay.
he's not. And you cannot tie imperialism and racism and slavery to just one race, which is pretty much what every single exhibit does. But let's talk about the fact.
What the fuck? Wait, who was like, what? What do you mean? If we're talking about the transatlantic slave trade specifically as a formative part of American history, yeah, it was the white people. Like what? Like overwhelmingly, by and large, it's an American museum talking about African American history. Yeah, they're gonna talk about Americans who did slavery. Hasan, please just stop. You sound stupid. Yes, you are right. I am the one who sounds stupid here.
And slavery to just one race, which is pretty much what every single exhibit does. But let's talk about the fact that when you
anti-slavery,
let's talk about the fact.
Slavery in America was.
Do you realize that only less than 2% of white Americans owned slaves?
But it was a system of white supremacy.
You know,
I can't believe we got Richie Torres coming in hot here. That's like such an objectively insane statement to make. No, she says black people also had slaves. Oh my God. Insane.
owned slaves.
But it was a system of white supremacy.
You realize that slavery is thousands of years old?
White people were
Do you know
the slave
who
owners.
was the first race to try to end slavery?
Wait a second.
Well,
Slavery is 1,000 years old. Okay. And America's the first country to end slavery. Not correct. So much so that the tiny sliver of people that own slaves literally fought to preserve that that system. So that's the reason why there was a war fought to end that system. Okay. Other countries were like, yeah, we should move away from this. America was like, nope. So much so that there's an entire fucking now woke national holiday called Juneteenth where slavers literally escaped to Texas and we're just like, let's just keep it going. Maybe they won't notice. There is a separate holiday, separate now national holiday for the additional liberation of slaves that took place after the abolition of slavery in this goddamn country.
Thousands of years old.
White people were
Do you know
the slave
who
owners.
was the first race to try to end slavery?
The first race to try to end slavery. Yeah, I know her ass is not talking about the fucking good Reverend John Brown, okay? I know she's not talking about that shit.
Okay, well, what's controversial?
This is such a Trumpian thing, too, to be like, white people preserved it, maintained it. It is different from other forms of slavery because of how unimaginably cruel the practices were and how it was defined by a genetic ancestry. The practices were so ruthless and the people actively defended it and fought and died to continue the maintenance of this system. And in 2025, you still have people going, well, white people ended slavery. That is crazy, man. She's taking credit for all white people right now. That's kind of epic. Yeah, we started it, but we also tried to end it is a hilarious fucking thing to say. That's why I said it's a Trump route. Yeah, I broke it, but I could continue breaking it. But here I am, no longer breaking it. Shouldn't you actually appreciate me for that?
This is an extraordinary exercise in historical revisionism.
I'm really surprised.
Revisionism. Do you realize that?
Jillian, I'm surprised that you're trying to litigate who was the beneficiary of slavery and
I'm
who
not.
was
It's crazy. What do you mean? The fuck is this? What are we doing? This is on CNN, bro. This is not Fox News. I feel like a decade ago, this would be the outlier on a Fox News panel. And even would have other Fox News hosts be like, okay, maybe that's a bridge too far. You're saying the quiet part out loud. We're not supposed to say that.
What I'm trying to tell you is that
in the context of American history.
Okay.
In the context of American history, what are you saying is incorrect by
I'm
saying that it was white people oppressing black people?
Every single thing is like, oh, no, this is all because white people bad. And that's just not the truth. Like, for example, every single exhibit, I have a list of every single one. Like, people migrated from Cuba because white people bad. Not because of...
What?
Yes, no, it's in there. That's what I'm saying. You don't actually know what's in there. Do you know that when you walk in the front door, the first thing you see is the gay flag?
And then she moves on to the first thing you see is the gay flag. Isn't this the fitness lady? I don't know what the fuck her deal is. She just seems like a ginormous racist.
Incorrect.
She has the look of a white lady who would just hate Obama. And I'm not talking about like decent reasons to criticize Barack Obama, like extrajudicial killings of people by drone strike. I'm talking the bad reasons to hate Obama. You know what I mean?